Michael, you there?
Hello.
What's going on,
Yeah,
man?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Hey,
you.
man, what's up?
I'm good. Joining me right now, I think Faith of Adam. The rest of the guys there?
Fate of Adam.
Yeah. What's
It's Fate of Adam, Fate.
all right? That's awesome. Well, thank you, fellas, for joining me on the show to kick off the show. I actually played one of y'all songs before I got on the air. Shadow Dreams through the Reverb Nation page. Um,
Yeah, that's kind of the go-to song for us. That's kind of what everybody pops up for on that one. That and Devil, it seems.
I definitely love the Shattered Dream song. Definitely awesome record.
Yeah.
Um, so let's go ahead and begin. How did Fate of Adam got started?
Well, I'm actually just joined the band last year. That would actually be a question mainly for Lynn. He's the he's the lead vocalist. And I joined up last year. The lineup that I'm in now, that was up together now. I joined it up last year out of it's basically got a call. They needed a bass player. It was pushed around for a while for me to get hold of them, and them to get hold of me. And I was in a couple other bands in Nashville, and this hooked up. It hit up. It was like a little magical moment. Everything clicked, and we just kind of ran with it from there. So.
I want to take this time and give a shout out to a mutual friend of ours. She's the reason why we got this interview happening. Red McCord. I first heard of you guys through her, and I've been listening to y'all music, and I'm definitely a fan of you guys, most definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so there's like meanings, there's reasons behind the name of groups. Um, so how did the name? What made y'all collectively, or those who've been with the band from the beginning, what made y'all decide to name yourselves Fate of Adam?
No, that one again. We have to go back to Lynn on that one because he's the mastermind behind it. They
Hmm.
were together for a few years before I joined up with them, and I've always made assumptions of where it came from, but I want to throw that out there because again, would contradict what he wanted to do. I was what it's about when he's the one that came up with the name. I always put it off as a biblical thing myself, the fate of Adam himself, the fate of man. But that's my interpretation. Where he came from, it, I don't know. The songs themselves, though, are mainly his interpretation of life, which is what we're doing right now.
I got you. I got you. Okay, so you know how people like to categorize people based on the type of music that artists do, whether it's locally, independent, unsigned, etc. How would you best
Yeah.
describe this band's music? Do y'all consider yourselves just simply rock, or y'all more than that?
Well, we definitely fall into the rock, kind of a groove metal feel, but collectively as musicians, we all have a diverse many diverse influences. We'll listen to anything from Ray Stevens to Slipknot, and I personally started off playing classical violin in fourth grade with the symphonic baritone and brass, and so I'm a huge classical influence. And being a bass player, a lot of funk influences from the 70s and 80s. So you get a nice eclectic mix of ideas in there. Chris, our guitarist, loves to what's called chicken picking, basically country style and the bluegrass style picking, as much as he loves to shred. So
Hmm. And I've always been a fan of rock music for quite some time. I've been a fan of alternative type of music, grunge type of rock. I've been a fan of metal type of rock. Um, I just like the energy that rock bands brings uh, as far as their performances, as far as that concerned. I just like the energy. You guys look like you're having a good time, and the crowd gets into it. Something about rock music in general, just energetic, comes to mind, and the crowd be feeling it. They
well, that's what it's all about, really. That's you know, the worst part of it is the recording. It's like a movie set. You sit around and wait to do your part, and you might take, 100 takes because I'm a perfectionist. If I don't feel it fits right, I'm going to keep doing it until producer says stop. You got it 10 takes ago. But the live performance, that's where it's at. It's the reaction of the crowd. I never could stand to go see bands that stared at their shoes or just felt like they were on some ego trip up there, like stare at me. No, we prefer to be right there with our fans, right there in their face with us, screaming back and forth. I'm coming off the stage in the crowd with them. Just really have a fun time, like a big party out of it. They're just as big a part of the show as we are.
Absolutely, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more from you guys. Definitely into the new year, moving forward. That being said, what are you guys' plans for 2016? Like new music in the works and more shows y'all got set to perform?
Yeah, right now we are doing some writing. We're planning on recording next month and into March. We've got a couple of shows set up in March. There's one in. I've not been given the venues for these shows. One's in Knoxville, well, not Knoxville, Huntsville. Sorry, we play around a lot. Huntsville, Alabama, in March 25th, and Chattanooga on March 26th. And I've not been given the venues yet on where we are. I know we'll be with a band called Angels Revenge on both of those shows, and they're out of Huntsville.
Definitely looking forward to those shows. If you guys are in that area, make sure you support your local artists, local bands, local communities. Show your support. This band is pretty awesome, so guys should just check it out and spread the word.
It's a fun live show. Definitely come out. The bands we usually do shows with are always good combination bands, and this turns out to be a great evening altogether. Yeah.
So you guys mentioned the recording process. It definitely could be frustrating being in the studio. Takes multiple takes to get a song put together. It's definitely a lot of hard work. I can definitely understand that from interviewing a lot of artists throughout the years. And you guys mentioned that your favorite part is the live performance and everything. So, that being said, and most importantly, chemistry is definitely a key, regardless of a group or a band. Like, what do you think is the key to the chemistry that you guys have, whether it's being in the studio or whether y'all perform live? Like, what do you think is the key to that cohesiveness that y'all on the same page?
That is hard to pinpoint. I've never been sure on that. Just sometimes you walk in the room and you can be completely different people, but you lock into something. It clicks. It's as far as Lynn and I go, they got me back in the singing. I hadn't sang in 15 years, and all of a sudden I'm doing backup vocals and had to get everything in shape, but it was worth the effort to me because I really liked where they were going with what they were doing, and it's kind of just clicking together. We were all on the same page, all the same kind of vision. Not to say that it's been happy-go-lucky the whole time. It never is. Not in any kind of relationship. It's never perfect. You're always going to have your little disagreements in the studios where they usually come out because everybody has their vision and their ideology. Just finding that center point that you all agree on and working from that point. And we've seemed to have locked in on that one center point. No matter what all our visions are on a different basis or separate basis, they all fall together in the right spot. And that creates the magic.
Definitely key. Definitely a key for sure. What I notice about you guys is that y'all definitely on the same page. Y'all got this passion for what you guys do. And as a fan of local music and indie music in general, I definitely appreciate you guys for what y'all bring. And and as far as local music, I like to think that people do support it. And yet people be so stuck on mainstream music, stuck on what they hear on the radio these days. Do you think
They
it?
like, yeah, the radio spoon feeds
Yeah.
people now, and then that's where I kind of have to watch my mouth because I'm an old school punk rocker, man. I
Mhm.
grew up in the era, and so I can actually go a little bit way too far on that one. So I kind of have to watch myself. That's where usually with having Lynn or somebody around, I also watch my mouth on that one when we do interviews. But to kind of guard myself, the industry itself has become cookie cutter. Honestly, it's become too formulated. You know, and maybe it's. I think it lacks the magic. If you look back into where a lot of the modern influences come from, 70s, 60s, the 80s, there was a lot of different types of music going around. There's a lot of different influences. Like, you could listen to a radio station and hear the Gap Band backed up by Iron Maiden. And completely different avenues that these people are coming from, but it kept it open. It kept your creative juices flowing. It really made you want to play, to create. Now it's just become all about money in my mind. And unfortunately, companies are able to feed that to people. You're starved long enough, you eat whatever they give you.
Absolutely, and I guess there's artists out there that feels more better doing indie, being on an indie label or better yet unsigned because they have control of their own music and how they want it to sound rather than the A&Rs and the record executives of how they want the music to sound. Do you think that's
Yeah,
the
it cuts
case?
out a lot of crap because you deal with A&R people and some management companies, and they put so much on you. It's like, you came to me for a reason. Yeah, we didn't shop you, you shopped us, but okay. They can be helpful, though. They can be helpful, so, because to polish up some of the rough edges that we have, but beyond that, I don't know, I don't see it.
All right. Well, so for people that wants to learn more of your music, or how to purchase the music and how to learn more of you guys, I want you to go ahead and promote the band's social media links, Facebook, Twitter,
Okay,
website, etc.
okay, we have Fate of Adams main page is on there's obviously the Reverb Nation page. There's the Facebook page is Fate of Adam Metal out of Cookville. I have two pages on Facebook. My musicians page or artist page, as they call it, is Michael Johansson Bass. I'll post stuff about the band there and of course my personal life. I kind of keep that separate from the band. And the Chris Lowe, I believe, has his own page. It's LOWE. And Lynn Garrett, the lead singer, has his own page on Facebook also that you can check out as an artist page or his personal page. From the friend, of course, he needs more people to talk to.
There you have it. Make sure you guys show your support. Fate of Adam on Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation. You can hear their music there on Reverb Nation. And if you're in the Tennessee area, in the Alabama area, within the next few weeks or so, in the next few months, make sure you stop by. They're gonna keep y'all updated anyway, so just keep an eye on them. Like that Facebook fan page and follow them on Twitter too. So, who do you guys consider influences in music?
That is really hard for me to speak on those guys. I said we all have a very diverse taste. I mean, I grew up listening to my mom's Sam Cooke albums and Statler Brothers, and then I discovered Kiss. I'm old. So I discovered Kiss in the 70s, and Queen's is my favorite band. I can speak of my own influences. As far as there's definitely a modern metal influence. I'm a huge Megadeth fan. The guys are also fans of Five Finger Death Punch. Slipknot is in there. Drowning Pool. But this is several different influences that make up the band, and it's that diversity that makes it what it is. Instead of all of us listening to the same band, then you sort of sound like that band. All of us having that complete field of vision there as far as music goes helps create what it is, and it helps help push it forward and becoming greater. So Of course, I'm the bass player, so there's a huge funk. I go out there and shout, the Bootsy thing, Victor Wooten, Gaby Lee. To me, the funk and progressive rock stuff's the best. So
That's awesome. I'm definitely becoming a fan of Cream more by the day. Something about that band, they don't just have hit records, they have anthems, and it's
yeah, and
songs like that.
they're completely
Yeah.
diverse in their style. If you ever listen to, like go, my favorite album by Queen is Day at the Races,
Hmm.
and that or News of the World, and the albums are so completely diverse in their styles. They'll jump genres inside the album. And of course, Freddie's voice, Freddie's Freddie. Yeah.
Yes, Freddie is Freddie, most definitely. Um, well, fellas, it was great chatting with you all. Thank you so much for being on the show, and hopefully one day, as y'all pretty much finishing this record up and doing shows, hopefully y'all make a stop in Kentucky, in my neck of the woods, and perform there one day.
Where you at? Where you
Uh,
at? We'll try to get up there.
I live in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go up there. All right. Yeah, so we're looking at Cincinnati too. So all right,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's awesome. Well, thank you, fellas, for your time. Continued success, and wish y'all nothing but the best, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for helping push.
You
We
absolutely
definitely
welcome.
appreciate it.
You all have a good night.